Ever since Trump came into power, Canada has been on a roller coaster. One day up, one day down. We have had tariffs. One day you wake up, the tariffs are full tariffs. One day, 15% tariffs. One day, no tariff. Every day is a new story. It seems like this guy cannot make up his mind. But this creates a lot of uncertainty in Canadian economy. Many people are affected in a negative way each time these announcements are made. We cannot live like this in a roller coaster all the time. People want stability. As an example, a lot of people have been affected in the auto industry. As an example, the Oshawa plant has been closed or idle. The Brampton location is also closed. So what happens with between these two locations, 4,000 people have been laid off in last year alone. As a whole Canada, at least for the data that was presented until half of the year, 100,000 people were unemployed. All of these people have families, they have wives, they have kids, they have expenses, they have mortgage, they have car payments. And what happens when these people get laid off? They have no choice but to cut expenses, and eventually what it comes down to is they can only cut so much. Eventually they would have to sell the house. If they can, in a down market, that means even if they sell, they get little equity out of that house compared to a few years ago when it was 2022. So what happens with these people that sell? They have to get rid of their house. Before they even get rid of the house, they might even sell the car, right? So they're going to cut down on living expenses as much as they can until they have no choice, and eventually the house is the last thing that goes. What happens right now, if they bought the house in 2022 or they've racked up all their line of equity, now the house is worth less than the mortgage. They're underwater. The mortgage is higher than what the house is worth. What can they do? They are stuck. So what happens then is they eventually have to give the keys to the bank and the house goes in power of sale. As an example, one of the houses in Mississauga was sold in a prestigious area of Lorne Park. It was sold for $2.3 million in 2022. Last year, it sold for $600,000 less. I mean, those people wouldn't sell unless they have to. To lose $600,000 is a lot of money to make up. How many years it would take somebody to save just to make $100,000? Imagine $600,000. Eventually, that house went into power of sale. So many situations like this. 4,000 people that were laid off in the auto sector alone between the two plants. Those people would have to sell their house. Their families would get affected. Their jobs are lost. Their mental capacity is gone. So every way you look at it, it affects our economy in a negative way. I think what Mark Carney did last week was an amazing thing for Canada. One of the things that he did is he went to China and he's made a deal with them so that way he can bring in their EVs, their electric vehicles, into Canada. It would start the operations back in Oshawa. It would start the operations back in Brampton. It would create more jobs. These people would come in. It would have a ripple effect. Now these people would have a job. They would have extra income. They would be free to start spending money. They would go and eventually start buying a house, a home, and build their family. So it has a ripple effect, everything that Carney did. Also the farmers with canola. We've been hit by following the U.S. Direction in the last few years. We cut relations with China, which was a bad thing. Now, at least Saskatchewan is going to benefit, and again, those people will get employed. That's a $4 billion shipping that we sell to China. So by having all these people back at work, the farmers make money, the farmers have money to give to their kids, the kids have money to down payment, and eventually affects real estate in a positive way. And more people working is a positive thing for Canada. Our unemployment rate, whatever they report, is way higher than what the government is reporting. I know a lot of people who were unemployed last year, and they've been unemployed for over a year looking for a job. They cannot find a good job. All of these jobs are part-time contract jobs that pay little money. Without two people working, they cannot afford a mortgage or living expenses in Canada. Canada, with the recent inflation in the last few years, have become so expensive to live. So we need two people working. With one of them out of a job, where 100,000 people just laid off last year, it affects us in a negative way. So I think it was a great thing that Mark Carney did by getting China involved. Start shipping our stuff into Chinese economy and Chinese market. So that was a positive thing, and it also sends a powerful message to Washington, to Trump, that we have other options. We can sell to other people in the world. US is obviously, we were 100% reliant on them. It would be better for us to ship to US. It's easier right across the border to ship something rather than shipping something for weeks to get into China. So it would be to our mutual benefit. But if US is playing hardball, one day they're going to slap tariffs, one day they're going to turn our shipments around. So it's better for us to have other options within Europe, within China, within Africa, within Asia, everywhere. It's a free market. We should be able to sell to anybody we want. At the same time, we want to sell to US. But if US is playing hardball and being putting tariffs on us all the time and rejecting our stuff, it's not a good relationship to have. So I know this is going to be looked very badly from the US side, that we are doing business with their greatest adversary, China, because that's the last thing they want. But it's better for us in Canada. US is doing what is good for them. We have to do what is good for us. So I think it was a good, positive thing to do. Canada is going to be importing 49,000 EVs, electric vehicles, from China. That's only 2%. I hope that number goes up. I think having good competition, better quality electric vehicles in Canada, it's a positive thing for Canadian population. And at the same time, I think it's going to give us better leverage when it comes down to the US, Mexico, and Canadian trade negotiations that's happening in July 1st of this year. It's coming due. I think it's going to give us better leverage, and I think it's going to give us better potential for us to do better business, because once US sees that we can do business elsewhere, we're not relying on them 100%, they would be open to negotiations. But again, this could backfire, and we could have like tariffs and stuff coming from US that's going to choke us. But I hope that's not the case. I hope that this would be a positive thing going forward into Canada. It's going to help Canadians, it's going to help farmers, it's going to help the auto industry, and in turn, it should help stabilize our economy. It should help people live a comfortable life, and eventually, if we do more business around the world, our economy would be better, the housing sector would gain life again, and eventually everybody would be in a better mood. If you are thinking of buying or selling real estate, please give me a call directly. My information is in the link below. If you found this information helpful, please like and subscribe, and until next time, see you soon.